Hello friends, welcome to my channel SushantChessWise. Today we are at the next topic of how to make decisions in chess. It's about how to choose a move, how we can reject a move, and it is not just about calculation. See, generally what I would say that how will I choose a move? Of course I will calculate and choose the move, right? But I am trying to take some really complicated cases and decision based positions where we will really have something to look forward, and it will be fun to match our moves with masters. So this is the position at hand here. It was black to play, and we have to decide whether the master who is black can play the move C knight A to C5, because we see after knight C5 there is B4 and one of the knights C is hanging once the knights are on E4 and C5. So this is the decision which we have to make. So do try to make a decision after this move knight C5 and after B4. Is black okay to go in for this line? So this is one of the main considerations we should have, whether the move B4 works or not. And how to choose that? A master will generally calculate deep, and if he is not satisfied with the calculation part, he will use the evaluation. He will try to see the various factors in the position and try to evaluate whether in the long term the position should be good, bad or sustainable. So based on that, do try to do, and I will show you how the player decided in the game whether he should go for this. In the game, as we know, black played NC5, but both the players decided, white decided whether to play B4, and black saw allowing B4 is good or not. So let us get into that now. See, firstly black saw the move knight B3, very obvious, but here what is happening? We are going to surrender this knight on E4, and later on if the A1 knight is rounded off, then things can be very good for white. But what black thought, by the time the cornered knight on A1 is taken, black will have his chances. So the calculation goes somewhat this way: queen takes E4, knight takes A1. If any slow move like QB1, it looks like an active one, right? But instantly black has the strong move QF6, and we see the black queen penetrating here after C E3, QC3 check, KD1. Now knight B3 straight away, or A5. Very strong move A5, trying to break with a B4 or go A4. A4 will give us a splendid square for the knight on B3. Even the move D5 after KD1 is very strong. Of course, many will say white will play BD2, but after BD2 also you can note that there is the very strong C D5, when after ED, bishop is heading to F5. This should be a winning position for black. So well, white rejected the move QB1, of course. He saw the main move bishop E5, and now see the knight is really trapped. NB3 will allow queen D3. So A5 good move. Black heavily relies on the play arriving from the A file. The rook is going to become very active now, and you will see this rook is heading for the 7th rank, or it's controlling A1. So the main variation should be here. See, bishop takes A1. If QB1, then AB, and see just QB6, very strong. Things become really very difficult after BA1, rook A1, queen A1, QB4, KD1, queen B3 check. First let us bring the king out to D2, and then black can go with D5. Position is really tough. D into C4 is coming up, and you can see then rook D8. This should be winning for black, of course. The move C5 can be met by D4, QD4, E5. See, this way we can open the position further. Once the rook occupies D8, it should be game over. So of course white thought of the main move bishop A1 here, and now A takes B4, and now the main move is QD4, which is what both the players looked, and that is how they evaluated the thing here. After QD4 there are two ways actually. The book suggests F6 as really great, because after F6 and F3 black goes rook A3, and soon you can see D5 and E5 coming up. Otherwise, another interesting choice is the move qg5, which can make the play very sharp here. See, first point is nf3 is really bad. There comes qc1 check, qd1 takes and rook a3. Position is quite bad after the move c. You can make out bb2, rook a2. Black should be clearly better. Yet again we have the break d5. So white can look at the move here, e3, rook a3, nf3, qg6 would move, and see the queen is straight away infiltrating to b1. White has really very few moves here. See, bb2 would just allow qb1. Even be2 allows, see, be2 is blunder by the way. be2 then qb1 and then queen takes on a1. Bishop is lost for free. So bb2 forced, queen check, ke2. And here I was considering the move e5, which looks really interesting because see, we want queen e5, and after queen e5 to use qc2 check, knight d2, and I was keen on using the move rook c3. This should settle matters. The bishop on b2 is really getting trapped. We have got the queen out of the d file, means qd3 check is also possible, and after c bishop c3 bc, you can easily see black is doing great. So both players decided that b4 was bad. So in the game actually here, white rejected b4 and he went with the move rook d1. So see, this is how masters calculate. They always need not look this deep. They were quite satisfied after the move f6 or qg5 over here, where they understood that this should be okay for black. All the time it's not necessary that we really see and look very deep. So I hope you learned something new from this lesson. Definitely let me know in the comments below. Thanks for your time.